channel, My Beautiful Mess. My name's Amber and I'm happy to have you back. Today I had my 27-week checkup with my midwife, and so I was just going to give a little update. It went great. My uterus and baby is measuring right on track at 27 weeks, which is great news. Although I usually measure much bigger. I usually measure 2 to 3 weeks ahead, so I'm excited to be measuring right on track. She said that baby feels good. He is head down, and that's great news. So my blood levels came back. Well, actually, they've been done for a while, but I switched midwives, so she just got my medical records, and my iron is low and my calcium is low. So she wants me to add those supplements on to the prenatal vitamins that I'm taking. So that was our plan, and I'll see her one more time. So next month I'll see her, and then she's going to do a home visit and deliver the home birth supplies, which I'm super ecstatic about. And let me think, what else was there? I think that was it. We talked about the pregnancy, how I've been feeling, and so on and so on, but those were the big things. So this week, Steve and I have, Steve came to me and said that the name we had picked out for our baby boy, he didn't want to use that name anymore, and he wanted to use the name for the middle name for his first name. So back up a little bit here, and we're going to talk about baby names. So from the beginning of this pregnancy, I was really, really sick and really, really fatigued and just going through the ringer. That's how in my heart I knew I was having a boy, because the boys tend to be much harder on me than when I carry the girls. And so it turns out we are having a little boy. And so our last 3 boys are Daniel, Samuel, and Nathaniel. And I wanted something for this baby boy, because they're all so close together, that ends in an I-E-L, A-E-L, or U-E-L, like the boys, and I wanted it to be a biblical name. And so we found Ezekiel. And at first I didn't like Ezekiel, and then it's kind of grown on me, especially with the name meaning God's strength. And God just spoke to my heart saying that we needed to name him Ezekiel, because my strength isn't within myself, it's provided through God, and that God is my strength, and he will continue to be my strength, and the more I trust him, the more he will provide. And so that was just bonus for all the things that were on my name checklist. And Steve agreed, although he doesn't like that all the boys' names do sound close together. He said that it sounds funny to him, but he was in agreement to give me the name Ezekiel. And he has always wanted or liked the name Chase. And to me that sounds like a dog's name, but he is very adamant about liking it. And so I had said, if he gives me Ezekiel for the first name, he can have the middle name. And that was what we settled on. Well, in this past week, he kind of was having second thoughts, and he said that it just sounded ridiculous for our boys to have the names Daniel, Samuel, Nathaniel, and Ezekiel. And so he just didn't want to fall into that trend, and if we have another boy, and it keep going on. And so we just kind of disagreed for the past week about it, and I just prayed, because I've already started calling him Ezekiel. I'm bonded to him being Ezekiel. That's what I really wanted to name him. And I just asked God to change my heart so that I could consider Steve's feelings and things that Steve Steve wanted and what God would want for us to name this baby. And Steve and I ended up talking a couple nights ago about the names and the meanings of them. And I again just expressed what it meant to me, and he expressed what Chase meant to him. And so we again compromised and agreed that his name would be Ezekiel, but Steve gets to call him Chase, so he gets to call him by his middle name, and I'm absolutely fine with that because he's my baby boy and I will be calling him Ezekiel. But if Daddy wants to call him Chase, he is welcome to do that. And actually I love calling my kids by their first and middle names. And then I call them usually by their middle names if they're being naughty. So, but we did agree on that. So it just got me thinking about baby names and what is the routine for you guys, or how do you guys decide on baby names? How do you get into agreement? What if someone hates the other name, or what if someone's really adamant about it? What do you do? How do you work it out? And what do you decide? I would love to know and hear in the comments how that goes, because he's not here yet, so things could still change. I know some of my friends don't name their babies until they're born so they can see their faces, and that's obviously perfectly fine. That's their choice and decision to do that. I believe that for my babies, they look completely different as babies as they do when they get older and at different stages of their life. So does the name grow into the person, or does the person grow into the name? And sometimes I think there are names that just don't fit the person. So that's what we have. But with that, talking about names and name meanings and how important it is, and some have family history and all that fun stuff, I was going to talk about the rest of our children's names. So I was a teen mom with Isaac, so I got to pick his name all by myself. That wasn't a problem. And when I was pregnant, when I found out I was pregnant with Isaac, I knew if I had a boy what his name was going to be. When I was 5 years old, I was in my aunt's wedding, and I was the bridesmaid, and there was a ring bearer, and his name was Isaac. And he was the cutest little boy. I had a crush on him, and that name stuck with me, obviously. And when I found out I was having a boy, I knew his name was going to be Isaac. That's what it is. And I was a teen mom, I didn't have any money, and there wasn't Google at that time, or that I know of. I wasn't familiar with Google. So I went through the phone book and I found his middle name, Quintin. So Isaac Quintin. And Isaac's name means he will laugh, or laughter. And I think that God put that on my heart because of Isaac's accident and everything I went through with him when he was 8 months old. So Isaac, as he was this cute little baby developing, he laughed and laughed and laughed and smiled all the time. He was just this precious little boy, and blessed me tremendously. And then when Isaac had his accident, that was taken from me. Isaac lost his laughter, he lost his sight, he lost the ability to eat, he lost so many things. He was a totally different baby. Cried all the time from brain injury. And I asked God, I said, God, please give me something. Give me something of my baby boy. And the first and only thing that returned from the Isaac I knew before the accident was his laughter. And that is God's divine goodness. His grace and his mercy were just abundant. And so Isaac's name means laughter, and to this day Isaac's laughter is known throughout the house, throughout the grocery stores, throughout his walks in the subdivision. Everyone just radiates from his laughter. It's very contagious. And Quintin, I didn't know at the time, but like I said, I found it and I loved it. Isaac Quintin Koenig. And actually, in my book here, I wrote down the names and I don't have the meaning of Quintin, so I'm going to have to look that one up. But when we got pregnant with Chloe, Steve named Chloe. I wanted Chloe to be a Mackenzie or an Elizabeth, and he he won. And Chloe means blooming, fertility, young grass, which Steve owns his own lawn care company. So he loved the idea of Chloe being young grass. And her middle name, Marie, was after my sister. And Marie is wished for child, rebelliousness. So she's definitely loved and wished for, but hope we don't deal with the rebelliousness. Brooke, I named Brooke, and Brook means breaking forth, small stream, and we named her middle name Elaine after Steve's mom, so after her grandma, and it means sun ray, shining light, bright and beautiful, which you know Brooke, she is my ray of sunshine. She is laughter and light, and she just cheers everybody up, so she lives up to her name. Then we have Faith, and Faith Ann is where we decided as husband and wife and as a family that we were going to trust God with our family size. No more birth control and no more family planning. We were just going to completely give it all to God. And so Faith symbolizes that. Steve chose Faith's name. And Faith means believing in God or things not seen, complete trust in God. And we gave that to him, and we continue to give that to him every time we find out we're pregnant and expecting a wonderful gift. Faith Ann, her middle name Ann, is after my grandma's middle name. And Ann means favor or grace. And then we have Daniel, and Steve's middle name is Daniel. And so we named him, Steve didn't want to name him after himself, his first name, but we decided to use the middle name. So Daniel. And Daniel is God is my judge, and from the roots. And then Daniel's middle name, LaFay, is from my dad's middle name, and LaFay means faith. Samuel, I named Samuel. Samuel was going to be an Emmett. So we had, for some reason, our boys have the biblical names. And I don't know if that was necessarily planned, but then we had Isaac and then Daniel. And then Samuel, we really wanted an Emmett. And my heart was, I would say, just heavy for wanting Daniel to have a little brother to play with, a buddy, a best friend, since Isaac was much older and not able to be his playmate. So I prayed and asked God, once we had Daniel, that he would give us a little boy to be Daniel's buddy. And Samuel was a surprise gender at birth, and so we didn't know if he was a boy or a girl. And then we found he was a boy. Again, Steve didn't like the name, or wasn't keen on Samuel. And so we had stuck to Emmett. That's what I planned on. And I said, when he was born, I said, God answered my prayers. He gave us a baby boy, and that's what Samuel means. God has heard, asked of, God hears, like Hannah in the Bible when she prayed for her baby boy. And so Steve said, well, we have to name him Samuel. And so we did. His name is Samuel. He was prayed for. And then Samuel's middle name is Alan, after Steve's dad and Steve's brother. They both share the same middle name. And it means handsome, harmony, cheerful, stone. And then we have Nathaniel. Nathaniel, I really thought was a girl, and we were all very surprised. I think we were even hoping for a girl because we had the two boys back to back. And so we had Daniel, Samuel, and I was like, of course I want to name him something similar, and we found Nathaniel, and I love it because it means gift from God. And Nathaniel is a gift from God. I was expecting a little girl, got a little boy. God fearfully and wonderfully made him and chose him, knew him before He placed him in my womb. It's just beautiful how it's destined to be. And so Nathaniel we have. And Nathaniel's middle name is Kenneth, after my brother's middle name. And Kenneth means handsome, comely, burn of fire. I almost thought it said ring of fire, but burn of fire. And then we come to Ezekiel, which is God is my strength. And then Chase, so I'm not hot on the name Chase that Steve loves. Steve loves this name, and I love Ezekiel. Chase means fearless hunter. So I like the meaning. Fearless hunter, self-sufficient, strong. And so those are our baby names. I will share with you. I do have to look up Quintin though, because now I can't believe I didn't put this in here. I'm sure I have at some point and just not remembered it because I can't remember things very well these days. So that was my 27-week update with my midwife and baby name choices. So let me know what you guys do or how you decide who favors. So mostly out of all of our names, I think Steve picked Chloe and Faith, and then I mean, we agreed on the other ones, but I had come up with the names. So how do you guys do it? What do you decide? What do you prefer? How do you pick your names? Do you give them meanings? Do you pick them from the meanings? All that fun stuff. I'd love to know. I love being pregnant. I love everything pregnancy. I love everything birth. I love everything all around this whole exciting time. It's such an amazing event and journey in life. So please let me know. If you have not, please subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up and let me know you like it. If you'd like to see another video pertaining to something that we talked about today, let me know and I would gladly do that too. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.